How does Mega Gengar stack up against the current meta in Pokemon ZA ranked online battles? So, I'm continuing on experimenting with some different teams, and I wanted to try out using Mega Gengar as my Mega on my team. So I am going to be using the Evolite Light Screen Reflect Spritzy with Nasty Plot and Moonblast here. And I am pairing it with Mega Gengar with Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Sludge Wave. And Talonflame with Swords Dance, Protect, Fly, and Flame. Flare Blitz. So, pretty much a little bit of like even using these Evolite Pokemon, just like on a side note, it takes a little bit of kind of finessing to get a better feel on when you should be positioning it in the lead and all that, but pretty much at the start of this match, I'm just trying to secure some sort of position where I can knock out something. I'm going for the Xerneas, and I do end up connecting with a Flare Blitz there. I do get a knockout, but I end up going down when I switch in Spritzy, which is fine. And right now, I'm in second place. I'm down by 1 point, so I want to try to mitigate that a little bit, stop them from getting above me more. So really all I can do, I mean, I could throw a Moonblast here, but I'm just going to set my shields and try to bring it out a better situation. One thing I was thinking about, I think maybe starting the match with Spritzy is good, just so you can set up screens and kind of scout the field. But I think, honestly, coming in with like an actual, maybe like Talonflame or Gengar, depending on like Mega Energy, it might be good to lead with that, coming back in from a respawn, and then switching to Spritzy and setting up the screens like mid-fight. But I got a pretty good situation here with the double knockout. I was able to take advantage. I was trying to get something, but the Glaceon and Metagross over there pretty much get punished, and I go down to the Flare Blitz. So that puts me ahead. But yeah, I was just trying to mention just some things I was thinking about as I was playing through, trying to use more supportive Pokemon, I guess you could say. Like, most of these Evolite users aren't going to be too offensively oppressive, but they can still snag a KO occasionally if you get them in the right position. But yeah, so at this point I'm thinking maybe I am using Spritzy a little too long. I think yeah, like I said, just kind of playing it out more. There's a lot of times where I'm like running around and like, yeah, Spritzy can take a hit and it doesn't typically die, but that's not always the best way to play these matches, considering we only have 3 minutes and it's more about who can get the most knockouts. So I'm going to try to face off here, get my shields up, and bring in Gengar here. So Mega Gengar is going to try to do something. I'm going to go for a Sludge Wave, and I do end up connecting to the Talonflame that was trying to dive in there. Unfortunately, I didn't switch out fast enough. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have lived the Thunderbolt anyways, but I was in first, but just at the very last second, Ampharos snagged a Thunderbolt on me, it looked like. So, GG's. So yeah, tied for first there. Gengar is definitely a glass cannon. I think one thing I would mention is do not hesitate on using your plus energy. So at the start of this match, I see the Chandelure next to me. This map, it's usually going to run to the person directly next to you on this map. But there isn't much I can really do to Chandelure with Spritzy, so I'm trying to get out of there. They do end up throwing a Heat Wave my way. I go for a Shadow Ball into Delphox here. I switch into my Gengar, and they end up switching out just as it's about to connect, which is pretty clutch for them. I decided to switch in Talonflame. A lot of switches here. I think one of the things rewatching these matches, it's actually really interesting to kind of rewatch them and see how I actually played versus how it felt I played, because I feel like it helps me kind of understand how I was playing a lot more than, you know, just being left with the feeling of how I played. Because I'm seeing things I probably should do differently. I mean, I switched so fast at the beginning of this. Maybe I should have tried to take advantage a bit more of my Gengar before trying to switch into Talonflame, etc. But I think I was so focused on the Garchomp when I saw it come in that I thought, oh, let me try bringing Talonflame so I don't get hit by an Earthquake, but it didn't matter. Anyways, I'm ganging up here on Xerneas, trying to get some sort of damage, but I get knocked out by Psychic, which honestly, I don't know if I've really even seen Psychic on Xerneas. Maybe they do run it. I'm trying to think. I feel like it's usually Geomancy, Moonblast, Thunderbolt, and Protect. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna bring in Spritzy again, subscreens, and again, this is something I was discussing at the beginning of this fight. Is I think this fight kind of showcases a bit. Like, I mean, look at that, just throwing a Moonblast at a lamppost, how efficient that was. But a lot of times, with Talonflame, I feel that it's really crucial to get up that Sword Stance. I am gonna come in, land in. Doesn't, I mean, I connect, but it doesn't knock out, unfortunately. I'm coming back over here. I'm gonna go for Protect. And I'm gonna try to Flare Blitz, but unfortunately, I just get removed. Not really anything happening there in my favor. Come back in. I see this opportunity. I'm gonna try to get revenge and get a fly off on Mega Chandelure here. Easy knockout, so I'm tied for first currently. See Mawile, I'm gonna Flare Blitz it, one-shots it entirely. I live, I can't be hit by Earthquake, and I'm gonna switch in Spritzy now and set up my shields. So this is what I was talking about. I kind of liked how this felt, where I took advantage of Talonflame there for a second. Then I can bring in Spritzy to kind of set up my Light Screen Reflect, maybe do some little bit of damage with Moonblast, and then bring in Gengar here to finish up. But that's pretty much going to be the end of this battle. No one really secures any more knockouts, and that will be another first place. Yeah, playing the game like this is so much easier to get bottle caps. I mean, I was commenting on one of my other videos how it's like harder to get bottle caps grinding a spicier team. I don't know how I feel about that anymore because I feel like I've accumulated a lot of bottle caps playing. I just feel like there's not much incentive to play past rank A unless you are just grinding for these items. I mean, it's fun, but there's no elo. There's really no point to go sweaty, so it's fun to just kind of run some variety overall. Anyways, I'm matching it up here against Emolga, which I've actually been seeing a lot of. I mean, I can understand maybe there is something to using Emolga. I haven't looked much into it myself personally, but I guess they're just trying to do the whole charge plus electric move gimmick that just seems to be working pretty well on most electric types. But yeah, I come out on top on that matchup. I'm gonna hunt down Gallade. I actually want to make a video on Gallade. I think Mega Gallade is actually really good right now. Feels like very fast and has good coverage. Yeah, so I go for Flare Blitz here. I go down, unfortunately. And it's not looking too good. I actually remember now why I included this video. It's actually kind of a hilarious end. I mean, it was hilarious to me, at least when I was playing it. But, yeah. The Molga gets switched out into Gallade, and Lucario gets knocked out by, it looks like Garchomp, I think it was, and Garchomp's coming for me now. I'm going to connect a Moonblast. I do a decent chunk, but Gallade gets the knockout, and I get just one shot by Stone Edge here. So I didn't even see that happen, I think, initially. I was just not really paying attention. Like, you know, I was just, like, in the moment. But then this second time, I think I'm trying to go after... I was getting kind of mad at this this player for getting me. It felt like they got me a few times. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe I was just... they do at this point, for sure. My Protect was not timed correctly. So I do end up just taking Stone Edge and getting one shot again by Gallade. So I'm actually doing pretty bad right now. I mean, there's still room to get at least something more than last place, but with only a minute left, I bring out the big guns. I'm bringing out Mega Gengar. I need to get some knockouts. And I guess I was just so afraid of this Garchomp, even though it wasn't even facing me and doing anything. See how, like, I'm noticing that I did these switches, and again, it was really just like over-predicting type situation. But I see this opportunity, and I throw a Shadow Ball. I get the Mega Banette. I come over here. I go for Gallade, but the funny thing is this Garchomp's like on my tail. Ironically, after like I was like so aware of it earlier, and it just gets up behind me and just ends up knocking me out. But getting those two KOs does put me in third at least, which is pretty nice. And at this point, I feel like that's probably going to be the best I can do. I can't get a knockout here on Lucario or Whirlipede, which I'm going to go for a fly, but funny enough, I actually knock out that Gallade right before the timer goes out. So I do end up getting tied for a second, just shy of 1 point from the first. I thought it was a really cool team. I actually have been wanting to try out Whirlipede myself, but if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more Pokemon PvP content. And with that being said, the Sass Squad's getting stronger each and every day. Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.